So I go in, and there's like, I don't know if you've been in like A&E at like half 2 in the morning. It's just depressing. Fluorescent light doesn't help because it makes everyone look iller than they actually are. So in there was a woman who was just sat there crying. She wasn't holding onto any part of her body. She was just sat there whinging. And when you're feeling bad, you've got that going on. So you just want to tell her to shut up. There was a fella who was like moped over in a wheelchair that someone had just chucked in.
Moped over?
It looked like somebody had just sort of found him and wheeled him in.
Nurse? Who's the guy moped over?
So this gay fella came through.
How do you know he was gay?
Just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A doctor, you mean?
No, he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, "Oh, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I've better days." So he got
As you mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, God!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it. Honestly, I was that sort of out of it.
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, "Oh, hello," and he said, "Yeah, let's pop that." I'd go, "Hang on a minute." But what I mean is that night I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it? How your body just goes, let them get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need.
And they're a qualified nurse, yes.
They gave me some morphine, and my sort of head caved in again like last time, and then the pain went. But anyway, just turns out that I'd had a load of like blood clots in the bit from my kidney to my bladder. And that was acting as a sort of a stone again.
No, it's just a scab, isn't it, where it's curing it?
No, but all the work, when they blew up the kidney 4 times its normal size. So there was no hiding place for the stone.
Yeah.
So when they did that, it caused a lot of blood. It must have ripped the sides of it and stuff. And then that blood was in the kidney, and it went down the pipe and blocked it up a little bit. And that's the pain that I had. It was sort of, had problems getting through all this thick blood that they caused. So, the weirdest thing that happened when I was in there, right? The morning after I'd had the morphine and what have you, right? I slept pretty well. But I woke up and you have like a telly for your own bed that you're allowed to use if you pay for it. Right? So the glow from that woke me up because they come on at about 7:10, and the telly's in front of your head. Right? So you're getting this glow and you're going, "Oh, what's that now?" And I looked at it, and all it had written on it is, "Carl received bad news about your father." Right? And I was like, is this what they do now? Because it's such a big hospital, do they just text you sort of news to your bed? And I was kind of like, like I say, it was early, it was 7:10 or whatever. Thinking, what's going on? I didn't have my mobile. Suzanne took that. And I was looking at it, I read it again, I thought, it might come up with more, like, what's up with him? Turns out it was just a review for Neighbours. It just tells you... It tells you what's on the telly that day. And there's some fella in Neighbours who's called Carl, whose dad went bad. So that sort of woke me up a bit. I had a bit of a shock then. It was kind of like... So I was wide awake at like 7:15 in the morning because my heart went a bit fast because I thought something had happened to me dad.
Carl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled My Ward.
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma?
A trauma, yeah, I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
In my ward. It's called my ward. Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. He seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy. When I left, I said see you to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese, he was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You've got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people make that
I like
same
it because
mistake.
you know why? It's like he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great.
It's very honest.
Yeah. So, you've done quite a few bits there from the diary, right? The other week you were saying a diary to sort of be famous and what have you, it's got to have a big event in it. That's a big event in my life, right?
Mm.
Peeps did a diary that had big events in it. You said about the fire on Pudding Lane. I've had a kidney stone here.
You write about puddings you've had.
So is that as big as... Is that a proper diary thing?
It's a proper diary anyway.
I think personally, the 5 or 6 pages you've written about your ill health are genuinely interesting, and I'm sure in years to come it will be an interesting evocation of the NHS at this modern age and how it is, what it's like to be in hospital.
What other diaries are out there?
Well, a lot of them are fictional, of course, Bridget Jones and the like. There are lots of memoirs, but to
I
publish a
don't
whole
know
diary,
why.
I mean, you can
Well,
get...
the two most famous diaries I'd have thought was Pepys and Anne Frank.
But
Yeah.
Kenneth Williams' diaries were published after his death. Many celebrity diaries have been published. Alec Guinness, people like that.
And is that just their last year, or did they do it when they were doing a lot? Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
they're old and sort of not working well, a diary isn't that good.
Well, often the moments prior to their passing are some of the most interesting. You see their final thoughts and final days.
Yeah, but are they just... You say different things when you're ill. When I was on that table about to go under and you're thinking this might be it, different thoughts on the world. Do you know what I mean? Different priorities.
What's the most profound thing that you thought that it was because of your illness?
Just as I went under, the last thing I said to this woman was, "Oh, you look different with that on." And
Oh, you look different with a hat on.
yeah, it was a woman who gave me the injection, and she'd been round to the bed beforehand, sort of saying, "Right, you're allergic to this. Can you eat strawberries?" And I was a bit like, "Why are you asking me that?" She went, "Well, no, a lot of people are allergic to strawberries." And I was saying, "But is there any trace of strawberries in the stuff?" And she's like, "No, it's just that a lot of people are." And I said, "Well, no, I eat them." And then she's like, "What about fish?" And I said, "I like some, but I haven't had them all." And and then she turned to Suzanne at that point and said, "Do you know of anything you can't eat?" She sort of said,
like turning to the mother.
Yeah.
When the child can't answer.
but she was this woman, and she didn't have a hat on or anything. And then when I went down there, I didn't realise it was the same woman until I was lying there and she started to inject me, and I just said, "Oh, you look different with that on." And then I went out, and when I woke up, the woman sort of came round and just sort of said, "Oh, it's weird that was the last thing, like you said." And that made me think that could have been my last, like fighting on the beaches or whatever. That could have been my little thing.
You look different with a hat on. Carl Pilkington.
Oh, God.
In its own way, it's quite wise. People do look different with hats on.
I think he's ill, yeah.
Yeah. Suzanne, can you drink bleach?
So that's it. That's the end of this series, the third series of the Ricky Gervais Show. We'll have to give it a rest for a while, won't we?
I'm exhausted.
Thank you, everyone who bought the series. All 24 episodes we've ever done are available on iTunes. So, yeah, if you haven't heard them, but maybe we should do a free one now and again over the coming years. Should we retire from podcasting and audiobooks? We've made our point, haven't we?
I think we've made the point, yeah. I mean, you always leave them wanting more. And let's be honest, we passed that long ago. So we may as well stop now as good a time as any.
Let's never say never, but for quite a while, it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant,
Goodbye.
and Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, you little round-headed...
Right, years ago, people only drank water, didn't they?
How long ago are we talking?
Going back a bit,
Okay.
and it was just the norm. Everybody was happy with that. It was kind of like, what, you're thirsty, have some water. It was just what you did. And it was more of...
Well, no, not only water.
No, it was. It was kind of like...
Well, they drank milk at birth, didn't they?
Yeah, as a baby. But then you don't have that when you're older. What I mean is, there's more now, as we've discussed, there's more of everything. So
I thought there was fruit juices in.
yeah, but what
Stuff.
I mean, when people were thirsty, it was like, well, have water. They didn't go, what do you want? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm just saying they had
Yeah.
it for a purpose as opposed to something for the taste buds. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so this town, right? It was in the middle of nowhere somewhere.
It's the detail that makes the story,
Yeah.
isn't it? The pinpoint accuracy of. So it was a while ago, and it was in a town somewhere. Brilliant.
In the middle of nowhere.
And what used to happen is barrels used to appear, right? These sort of, do you know, like how they have wooden barrels, that beer and that comes in?
Right.
One of those used to just be in this village, and everyone who lived there was used to this sort of drink that used to crop up, right? Well, because they were used to it, they didn't question it. It was kind of like, yeah, it's what happens if you live here.
Sorry, so I don't understand. So what's in the barrel? It's a barrel in the town square.
Well, it's this drink.
and
right?
so it's not water.
It's not water.
It's a mysterious other drink.
Well, I'll tell you now. It's like a fruit drink.
Okay.
And back then, I mean, I speak to my mum, and she didn't have a banana till she met my dad, and they were made up of fruit.
Sorry, is that a euphemism?
I don't know what that means.
No, but what I mean is,
Was that he came a calling with a banana?
No.
With a bunch of bananas and some flowers.
no, but what I'm saying is, it was like a fruit drink, and for years and years, people didn't drink fruit. It was an eating thing. Do you know
What?
what I mean?
It was an eating thing.
It was eaten.
Yeah,
What, near
it
Windsor?
was. It was. You're thirsty, have some water. What? You're hungry? Have a banana. Have an orange.
Sure,
whatever.
but the idea of combining the two, crazy.
They never used them in that way. So anyway,
So a mysterious fruit-based drink is turning up mysteriously in this town for years. No one questions it. No one thinks. They
yeah,
just
just
think
because
fine.
it's in that area. I'm sure, like in
Here
the same.
come the milkman.
No,
Lilt.
but in the same way that in Scotland they'll have fried Mars bars and that.
Yeah.
They don't bat an eyelid at that. Yet when we go there,
Well,
they
no.
go,
They didn't appear mysteriously.
They
Did they?
didn't just
They
appear
go-
one day.
I assume they go to the newsagents, then take it home and pop it in some batter.
yeah, but what I'm saying is they don't think anything's odd about that. But as time goes on, people have started travelling more, haven't they?
Ooh.
And
You have.
visitors sort of came in to the town,
To the town.
and they were saying, "Oh, I'm a bit thirsty. Have you got any water?" And they were like, "I don't have water. Have some of that in that barrel." And they were like, "What's that?" And they were like, "Oh, it's a drink." So they had it, and it was really like refreshing. And they were like, "What is this?" And they said, "Don't really know. It just crops up. It's,
Of course they did.
No.
it's what
No.
it's what you get if you live here. It's part of living here."
Right.
So they were like, "Brilliant. Do you sell this?" And no, they don't just sell it. We don't even know where it comes from. Just have some whilst you're here.
Don't even know where it comes from.
No.
So the thing
Bollocks.
is, this helped the town out.
That's
because,
before the monkey appears. This
'cause-
shit.
Yeah.
So all these people are enjoying the drink. Word gets out, and
Yeah.
it went on for a couple of years, but they say it travels fast, doesn't it? If it's
Yeah.
good, if it's good news, it travels. If it's good news or bad news, it travels fast.
So
But,
news
uh,
travels fast.
Yeah, just news. Yeah, news just does. So anyway, so some
Fucking
business,
monkey news doesn't. This has taken half an hour.
so some big business fella
Ah.
who was on holiday
Oh.
in.
Any specifics?
he was from Chicago,
Right.
Oh,
and
interesting.
he
How
flew
tall
in.
was he?
Hold on though. So this is after Chicago was founded.
Right.
Yeah, Chicago was knocking about.
Oh, they had loads of drinks then.
Yeah,
they had
alcoholic.
coffee,
you know,
tea,
coffee,
yeah,
tea.
alcohol.
Yeah, they had every drink under the sun.
Yeah, but not like
Every drink under the sun.
Not like-
Apple juice, grape
No,
juice,
they didn't.
ciders, wines. Every yeah.
So he came
Oh,
in.
if Chicago was founded, then
he came
yeah,
in.
probably
and,
19th century. Oh, there's loads of shit about.
and he was saying, "This drink you've got here, he said, it's good stuff, you know."
Mm.
He said, "Whose is it?" And they said, "Well, it just appears and what have you." And they said, "Well, that's a bit odd." So anyway, he got a bit annoyed with it because he wanted to take it back with him to Chicago. He knew
Yeah.
there was an audience for this.
Well, yeah, because they got bored of tea, coffee, all the other drinks
all
and
the other
available.
drinks and that. Yeah.
So he waited
Mead.
at night.
Been around for years.
Waited behind a truck.
A truck. Oh, so it's
So we're in the
truck.
motorised age.
Oh, so at least 1890 something. I'd have thought.
And he saw this little fella bring the barrel out.
How little was the fella?
It's hard to tell in the dark, and they were quite far away. And the barrels, you know, it's you know what I mean? It's hard to work out.
He was
Uh,
short. His arms were long.
So they followed him in, right, and saw what was going on,
Okay.
like how it was being made, and they said, "You know what? We can have a go at making this ourselves." And what happened in the end? They tried to imitate it in Chicago. It was a orangey tang, right?
It was made by an orangutan, wasn't it?
And do you know grapefruit juice? They had like ape fruit juice that they were good at crushing the fruit with the feet and what have you. And that's how them two.
So it was great ape fruit drink.
Yeah.
Which probably got abbreviated over time.
Ape fruit juice.
No, it was great ape fruit drink. It was because it tasted great.
That is a load of shit, Carl.
That is why we stopped doing it.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello, welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with Guardian Unlimited. Back where it all started. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And of course, Carl Pilkington.
Right.
The internet phenomenon that is Carl Pilkington.
Now this could be interesting.
Now that noise, do you want to explain, Steve?
I will. I've just sent a text to this number that some of you may have heard of, 63336. Now, apparently this is a number you can send a text to, and it will answer any question that you have for it. And in the past, for instance, I sent it quite profound questions. I once asked it, should they have dropped the second bomb on Nagasaki, and it had a very thoughtful answer. So we've sent it a question, perhaps equally thoughtful. Carl Pilkington believes in ghosts. Is he an idiot?
Now, we sent that because this is the Halloween special. These podcasts are 3 one-off free specials, and they're free because we want to thank people who paid for the audio books we did, the last 2 series. So thank you for that. I've just bought a flat in New York, and Steve's just bought a lovely BMW.
Mercedes.
Oh, is it a Mercedes?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, yeah. I haven't seen it
two-door.
yet. Carl's having his kitchen done and his boiler replaced. He's still not happy. But yes, thank you. The back catalogue is still available in audiobooks on iTunes, but these are 3 free ones.
Anyway, the question we asked, 63336, Carl Pilkington believes in ghosts. Is he an idiot? And this is the response. Unusually, producer Carl Pilkington is both an idiot and a comic genius. His humour is not to everyone's taste, however.
That's amazing.
That's the response. But it's curious because it doesn't really answer our question about ghosts.
Send them, do you believe in ghosts?
Okay.
This is the Halloween special, of course. That's why we're talking about ghosts. Carl, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen like a proper ghost.
So why do you believe in something that there's no evidence for?
Yeah,
You
but why are we here then? If it is just sort of you're born, right? And we are useless. At least other creatures, when they're born.
Well, you speak for yourself.
No, but they're born. Other creatures are born to do a job, aren't they? When a bee's born, you know what that's going to be doing. It hasn't got any options. That's got a job to do. And it does that job, and it dies, and the next one comes along.
Oh,
We asked it, do you believe in ghosts? The existence of ghosts is not proven. Many experiments have claimed to identify ghosts, but none have been scientifically sound.
excellent. See,
Yeah,
that's a sensible, intelligent, logical, thoughtful answer.
Weird things have happened to me when I was living at home, and was in bed one
Where
night.
do you live now?
No, but I was at my first home.
Your parents?
Yeah, my mum and dad's.
Mm.
So I'm in bed, and I'm lying there, and you get that sense of like, there's something going on.
Right.
And I sort of look over my quilt, and there's nothing there. Thinking it's weird that. So turn me back on it. I'm thinking I don't want to know. If there is something there, I don't want to know. Right? So I'm turning me back on it. But then there's like a really high-pitched noise, right? Sort of the hairs on my back are like going up a bit. And I'm like, I don't like this. And it's the high-pitched noise.
You had a hairy
getting
back
louder.
even as a kid?
No, but everyone's
I
got
thought
little
it was
hairs on
just
them, haven't they? Everyone's got little tiny hairs on them and stuff. And I thought, I can't stand this. And I turned around, put the light on, legged it downstairs. Right? And my mum's saying, what are you doing? I'm going, I don't know, there's something up there. So she said, alright, then watch the telly. So I stayed up for a bit, watching the telly. Went back to bed, the high-pitched noise had gone. Went to sleep. Get up the next day. Charlie from next door comes round. He goes, Hilda's dead. Right? And my dad said, when did that happen? I said, last night at 11:15.
Right.
That's when I was in bed.
So, what are you telling me for?
Because it's weird, isn't it? It's that thing of...
what do you think would be weirder that no one ever died at 11:15 when you were in bed?
No, but that's when all the weirdness was going on. That's when the tone was happening, my back was getting itchy and stuff. And
Coincidence?
and I went down and watched telly, went back up, it's gone and that, but that's when her spirit had sort of...
No.
Ah, okay, right, interesting. No, this is where we get into the facts.
So Hilda's spirit, that's
whizzing
where...
round my bedroom, because my bedroom was right next door to theirs.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, that's one.
Why do they whiz round when they die? Why do spirits whiz round when they die?
Because they're going, where am I going?
Are they?
And they're whizzing round, aren't they? Am I going down? Am I going up?
No, that's Carl. Oh,
No,
no,
but-
I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy, is it? How do you think it works?
It doesn't work.
But once again, it's not proof of anything, Carl. Beyond the fact that you were a child in bed.
Why did your dad ask what time she died?
No, it just sort of, what do you say to someone when it's awkward, isn't it? When someone gives you bad news, so you just think, what can I ask?
What time did she die?
What time
did that
exactly?
happen?
Sorry?
No, you just go,
Exactly what time did she die?
My wife passed away.
yeah,
What time exactly?
No, not exactly. He just said, that's bad. When did that happen? Right.
And he said, "What? Thanks for asking."
Quarter to
It was
11.
specifically
Quarter to 11.
quarter past.
Oh, that's weird, isn't it? Convenient, aren't they, all these
It
stories?
is, or is it? Or, yeah, I mean, it's either that's exactly what happened, Rick, or he's misremembering the actual series of events.
I don't know which one to plump for.
But I tell you this though,
Go on.
if we're talking about ghosts and that.
Yeah.
Now, Hilda,
Yeah.
choose your bog standard old woman.
Right.
I hope that's on the gravestone.
I know, yeah.
No, it's just
did you do the eulogy?
No,
That's great.
you
What can we say about Hilda? Bog standard old woman. Right, there's sandwiches at the bar.
That's the most insulting thing you could ever say.
there's nothing.
Let's just think about
Hilda
that phrase.
lived her life. Thank you for coming to celebrate the life of Hilda,
Who died at 11:15 specifically.
and was a bog standard old woman. Are we burning or burying?
But anyway, she lived to be quite old.
Which annoyed you?
In a bog standard way.
Well, this is what I was saying about us all living too long and stuff. It just makes it worse when it does come to us being a ghost.
I don't know what you're talking about
that
again.
sentence made no sense.
Just, if you are going to be haunted, right, say, I know you're going to say, well, I don't believe in them, so I'm not worried, so don't be going on about it. But say, like, your new place that you thought you move in, and you go to bed, and there's something moving about the room. You see it, it's a ghost.
Oh no.
Okay, let's for the sake
More
of argument-
likely, a Siamese cat called Ollie.
No, because that's probably got its own room. Right. But what I'm saying is, would you prefer to have an old person moving about looking at you, or just a young person? I'd prefer a youngish person who looks normal and is sort of floating about, and you go, oh, right.
That looks normal, floating about.
No, but an old woman would really scare me. And ghosts are always going to have a bad reputation because they look scary because they're old. So that's
You talk absolute shit.
that's all I'm saying. So
Can
we're
you
now
believe
going.
we ever charged for this?
No, but look, if we are going into another life, right, after this,
Which we're not,
we
but yeah.
move on to another life,
Yeah.
we're not going to move on. That land, say if it is like another world, where we go and we plough fields and we grow
Croppage.
we grow crops, if you want.
Yeah, well, I would like to use the English language.
Yeah, but there's too much fruit about, so just a crop, just something we need to get by.
He's got an answer for everything.
That's
So
what
we
I'm
grow some
saying.
crop.
Yeah. So you grow your crop, and now if we're all going into that other land or world or universe, old, who's going to do the cropping?
Oh God! Oh, yeah. I've never heard so much crop in my life.
It's a load of old crop.
I had to go for an ultrasound, right?
Isn't that what you do if you're pregnant?
Yeah, but do you know I've had kidney stones?
Are you
and that?
expecting?
We talked about it
Yeah.
in the other podcast and that we've done, right? I've had a kidney stone. I don't want to go on about it. But it was painful and that.
Well, you are going on about it.
Yeah, and there was
no,
nothing.
but I'm just saying.
It's routine. Don't worry about
It's
it.
not routine.
Well,
Why did
it
I have to
is.
keep
Loads
going
and loads
back
of
then?
people.
Why did I have to keep going back? You're questioning me.
You're getting into a
ultrasound.
routine. Keep going back. It's better than working it. You don't have to sell the book. No. Holiday or hospital. Holiday or hospital. Holiday or hospital. I don't know. I'll just say that we've got a book out, right? The World of Carl Pilkington. It's out now. When he goes on holiday the first week, right? He's in and out of hospital. He's doing no good. He's got to go in again. He goes away with his family like twice a year. Goes away with Suzanne's family family twice a year.
Yeah.
He's now said he doesn't want to do any press for it because it's boring, or he doesn't want. Why aren't you plugging the book? I mean, if you're an author, you've got to get behind
I've bought books without hearing someone telling me to buy stuff.
No, you're
just buy stuff.
lazy. You're lazy.
I'm not lazy. It's just that I'm sick and tired of putting telly on or the radio and having people telling me, oh, you've got to buy this, you've got to buy that. No, I don't have to do anything. I'll have a look myself when I'm in a bookshop. Let them just find it.
But there are hundreds and thousands of books, Carl. They may not find it.
Well,
You're
just have
trying
a
to
look.
direct them towards it.
I don't want to direct them to it. I just, if you come across it...
But
most
why
of
have
the
you
books,
put all this work into this book, all these illustrations you've done, and
because
extra
I
material?
enjoyed it for me.
Right, but you don't want anyone to read it,
Yeah,
so
they
why
will
just put
read
it in a
They will-
drawer?
They will read it. They'll find it. People will find it. It's in the shop, isn't it? I'm always finding little books on different things and what have you.
Yeah, you don't read them. You read the first couple of lines and you get it wrong. What,
So I went back, right, and they had the ultrasound thing where they're looking to see what else is in there. And when I was in the waiting room, there was a woman there. I reckon she was about 98. Now, why are they rooting around in her to see what's up with her? Just let her die. Do you know what I mean? If she's not in any
Jesus.
pain, no. All
Such
I'm just saying, how long does she want to be around? And the problem is, she went off. Right, I was sat in the waiting room. She went off into the little cubicle to put her a gown on, and because she's old, she can't bend her arms and that. So she came out with it all open on the back, and it was horrible. It looked like a chicken that hasn't been looked after, right? It was all leathery skin and that, right? Now the thing is, it's all very well keeping people alive, but the surroundings of the body isn't meant to be lasting that long, is it? Do you know what I mean? The actual skin of a body, it's all very well keeping the heart going, checking the kidneys and all that, but we're not meant to be around this length of time. Yet we're messing with it.
Yeah. Just do the gown up.
You never see insects or anything like that look old. You don't go, look at the state of that.
Because they live about 4 weeks.
Yeah, but maybe that's the way it's meant to be. In the same way, maybe we were only meant to live to be 40.
But why did you go in for your operation then? Why didn't you just think, well, this is it, I've
It's
had
on
my
offer.
time?
If they're looking after an old woman who's about 98, I'm having a go.
Well, of course.
Because you want to live on.
She might have been flirting with you.
No, she was.
Keeping it open, just so you can have a little look.
But I'm just saying, is that right? Is it right that
You
they're
were
going
checking
in
her
there rooting around and stuff? I didn't like it. I didn't like having it done. I don't like going to the hospital and stuff and the doctors and all that. And she was pushing the thing down. And she said, "Oh, you can have a look if you want." So
What down where?
on me kidneys, she was pushing like this little scanner thing.
Oh, right.
She was going to have a look. I was going, "I don't want to have a look." She's going, "What's up with you?" I said, "I don't want to see me insides." It's
Did
not
they have a
normal."
tube? Did they put a tube down the end of your knob?
Yeah, they did all that. We've talked about that in the other.
But you were
Audio
unconscious,
books.
weren't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it? If you know it's going on, it still bothers you. It's because you're asleep.
Well, not really, no.
What do you mean?
Well, why does it bother you if you're asleep?
Well, that's like saying, "Oh, I woke up and the house was robbed." Oh, it doesn't matter. You're asleep.
Well, no,
It's
but
still going to bother you, isn't it?
but you knew it was happening and you did it willingly. It's not pleasant to go in and be made to go unconscious. That's the unpleasant bit, isn't it? And the pain.
Well,
and
no, it's more the idea of it, isn't it? That's why, doctors telling you everything they're doing. It's like, don't tell me. You know what you're doing. Just do it. I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
going to have a go at it. It's not like DIY people coming around and going, "Oh, what you should have done there is," and you can go, "Oh, I'll have a go at that next time on my own without calling you out." If I get kidney stones again, I'm not going to go, "Oh, I've had it done before, I know what to do, I'll stick it up there." Doesn't happen, does it? But I can't. What was I saying? So anyway, so she was pushing the scanner over me kidneys and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, it was weird with her because at no point did she make eye contact with me.
Well, I don't understand what that means. Well, she meant to wink and go, "Your kidneys are fucked."
No, but it's just weird that she probably spends her days looking inside people more than she does talking to people. I just thought it was odd that that's how she sees people. When she looks at people, she probably sees kidneys.
What, this doctor?
The woman doctor.
Well, doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So, what you're saying is, the strange thing is that she often spends more time looking in people, because she's a doctor, than chatting to them.
Yeah.
And is it weird that Jonathan Ross is the other way around? Because he's a chat show host. He spends more time talking to people than looking inside them.
No, but even when I was
Because he's got
asking
a different job.
when I was asking her questions, saying, does it look all right? What's it doing? Is it moving about, you know, asking her questions about my kidney? She could have quite easily just turned around and give me a bit of eye contact.
If you want to say shut up, I'm concentrating. I'm
She was
at work.
looking at the screen in order to answer your questions.
Yeah, she's at work. She's doing something.
No, but just...
If she was here now going, Carl, what are you doing with that microphone? You'd go, shut the fuck up. I'm doing a podcast.
Did she run this scanner over your head? And if so, did she find anything? We'd like to try and educate Carl, Rick, as you know, as we have done since we've known him, really, and he doesn't really seem to absorb any information.
No.
And I was asked recently, when I was going back to Bristol, if I would come and talk to a classroom of school children.
All right.
You know, just talking about careers, and particularly my career. And I went down there. It was in Bristol. It was an inner city school, quite rough area.
You're a son of Bristol. You're
Exactly, they love me
You're a
down there.
celebrated son of Bristol. You're a Golden Globe winning person who's returned to the homeland.
It annoys me when I go down there that I'm not met as I get off the train like the Beatles used to be when they came back from America.
By
you know?
a mayor and a brass band.
Hordes of people, ticker tape.
Forever this day will be called Steve Merchant Day.
Exactly. It frustrates me that I just sneak back into town. There's no fanfare.
Yeah.
But basically, they asked me to come talk at this school, and I sort of batted them away and said I'm too busy. And so I foolishly left them the opportunity to ask me again, which they did, and I didn't have a decent excuse, so I went. And I was expecting to talk to maybe a room of sixth formers. They were 9, these kids, 9 and 10 years old. But I realised as I was walking into school, I was suddenly really nervous. I was more nervous than anything I've ever done, because I realised that I've not spoken to a child like that since I was a child myself. I've never interacted with them, so I didn't know at what level I would be able to pitch this talk. You know, I didn't know what they understood, what ideas they understood. Obviously, in my mind, I was picturing Carl, and then I was ratcheting it up a few years, sort of IQ-wise. And I went in
So
there,
what did you talk to them about?
And I was supposed to talk about careers, and I realised very quickly that they didn't really understand conceptual
Did they
ideas.
know you were?
Not really. One or two of them vaguely knew. One of them went, "What's Rick Gervais like?" And I said,
You got a deep voice.
yeah. Actually, that was one of the teachers. And I'm supposed to be talking about careers, how to get into careers, and I start trying to explain the idea of being a writer, and I say that it's very important to be able to get inside other people's minds, you know, figure out how they think, and how, you know, and trying to understand other people. But this, they didn't really seem to grasp. They started talking amongst each other. You know, they were just losing interest. I lost them straight away. I was devastated.
Oh, no.
So then, and this is the worst thing, right? I started lying to them. Because I realised that every time I told a slight lie, because I thought they'd be interested, they were. So
I
carried
know
on lying.
Justin Timberlake.
You're not joking, right? They said, one of them said, "I understand you used to be a DJ," and I went, "Yeah, it's great being a DJ because you get to meet pop stars like Robbie Williams and Beyonce." Never met either of them. Never met them. And they went. One of the kids went, "What's Beyonce like?" and I went, joking. I went, "You wouldn't like her." And I said, "No, I'm joking. She's lovely. She's sweet. She's good as gold." I was making it up. But they were loving this, and the teacher was going, "Would you all like to meet Beyonce?" And they were going, "Yeah." And I was thinking, God, well...
I'll bring her down tomorrow.
Well, exactly, but I don't know why I felt it was like I wanted to win the approval of these 9-year-olds.
That's amazing.
Because my own achievements, I realised, wouldn't mean anything to them. You know, I could talk about the people I have met, but they don't care if I've met Robert De Niro, but they're interested if I've met Girls Aloud. Well, me and Girls Aloud, some of the times we've had together, it turns out. But it is fascinating when you have to interact with people, with children like that, because I've got no concept of how to talk to children. To me, I can't grasp the difference really in conversation and chat between, say, a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old. I don't know at what point they learn stuff and pick stuff up. Do they understand? Do you know what I mean? I find it really
I remember
hard.
once when I was about 9, the headmaster, deputy headmaster, used to do a little fable. I've talked about him in stand-up. He used to do a little fable. There's one I remember where he got a tube of toothpaste, and he got someone up. He said, "You, come out here. Squeeze this tube of toothpaste out on this board." And he squeezed it all out, right? And he squeezed it all out and emptied it. He went, "Now put it back in." And the kid tried to struggle, and he goes, "You can't do it." He said, "It's easier to do something than undo it." Okay, go back to class. Like people are going, "Oh, I get it. I know what he means."
Yeah.
They're just thinking, don't squeeze all the toothpaste out.
Yeah.
Just save some.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's no way they're going to take on that
exactly.
metaphor at the
It's
age
too
of 9.
conceptual, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just stop misbehaving or I'll smack you. That worked. Carl, have you had to have any dealings with kids? How do you get on with kids? Do you relate to them? or are they just as angry and perplexed by your views as we are?
I mean, it's with everything, isn't it? Everyone's different and that. I can get on with some young kids alright, and some of them are, like, you know, a bit cocky and what have you. But, I'm sort of getting on with the baby at the moment, because I've been made a godfather.
Think of that.
So,
Wow, who did they reject?
I know.
no, I mean,
Who said no?
Yeah.
How many people
I
said
did.
no?
I did at first, and then
Brilliant.
Suzanne said, "Look, it's not really a choice. It's not like a job interview or something that you're thinking about. Is it a good thing? So you've been asked. You should take it on."
But what are they? What if they? Hold on. If you're the godfather of this
Yeah.
kid, presumably you're friends with them, and they probably listen to this
they're good
podcast.
friends.
So now they're hearing for the first time that you didn't want to be godfather.
Yeah, but I think that's good because they can hear that. It wasn't. I didn't just do it because I was asked. I thought about it. I thought it through. I was worried. It was kind of like, is this a job? And I was just.
Well, it's
asking
nothing but tokenistic, is it? You're not.
Well,
really
this is what I looked into. I said, we went back and I said, right, I've been thinking about this thing. I've heard that it's my job. If anything happens to them, I've got to kick in. I'd have to start looking after the baby. So I said, right, how many of you are in your family? If that happens, am I going to start getting a phone call or what? And they said, no, there's a big family. You're not, you're at the bottom of the list. So I was like, how many? And just finding out what their age is. and I've only got a small flat. I would have to sleep in a sink or something, right? So I checked all that out and all safe. So this baby is spooking me out a bit because it doesn't blink, and that's pretty weird when you're sort of talking to it and you're thinking it's not blinking.
Are you sure it's not asleep?
No, it's weird. If something doesn't blink, it's like it's evil. Because blinking just makes something look a bit more friendly, doesn't it? And I was stood there, talking to it. I just tell it little stories about anything. It's lying there looking up at me.
How old is it?
Must be about 2.5 months.
Well then, why are you telling it stories?
Because it likes it. But it's just weird how, then I'll sort of forget the story because I'm looking at it going, it's not blinked yet. In about 10 minutes, it's not blinking. So then I forget the end of the story and I just walk away because it's not bothered anyway. It's probably not listening, is it? But
What a pointless tale! What a pointless tale now and at the time.
I think it likes it. The kids like stories, like you say. They're not bothered if it's not true or anything.
Or if you walk away before the ending because you've forgotten it.
That's
Brilliant.
why it's not blinking. It's so dumbstruck at the idiocy coming out of your gob.
No, but you don't need to hear endings of stories. Maybe, like I said
That's
to
the
you.
point. That's the point of a story. Isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
That's the point why people. That's why people like stories because they're hooked into knowing what happened.
No, because there's loads of films that happen and they have a funny ending. You leave there going, I know what's meant to happen. Then you make it up in your own head. You go, well, I bet what happened is that person went off and got married to that woman and they lived happily.
And then in your head, it's the truth. It's actually what happened.
But I think that's better. Why are we told everything? Because
So what would your end be to a story such as The Elephant Man? Okay, he's rescued from the freak show, he's put in the hospital, he becomes something of a celebrity, then what happens?
he discovered he had big ears and he could fly, and he joined the circus and he was the main attraction.
I wouldn't change the end that much because at the end of the day you can't make something up that's not believable. At the end of the day he's got an head like an elephant. He's not going to have a good life, is he? So there's no point making out that he went on, loads of women fancied him, and he modelled hats. It's not going to happen. so he's got to die. The Elephant Man had to die, but at the same time
He was shot by poachers
just show
for his tusk.
show a few positives, because I'm sure there was good bits in his life. I don't know what they were, but look at everything.
What was he like when he was a little baby elephant?
They didn't cover what he was like as a kid, but you can get away with them sort of looks when you're a baby. You can be an ugly baby and everyone goes, oh, isn't it nice? There was some woman in a cafe the other week that I was sat in, and she came up and she sat down with a mate and she was talking loudly, going on about, oh, the baby's lovely. They said it's got lovely big eyes, really big hands and feet. Now that doesn't sound like a nice baby to me. I felt like saying it sounds like a frog, but I thought, I don't know her. There's only so much you can say to a stranger. I don't know what kept me from saying it. That's what I was saying before about there's something.
It sounds like a frog.
There's something inside of you that stops you.
Yeah, that's amazing that you had the urge to go. That doesn't sound like a good baby. What, love? I'm just listening to conversation. That baby you're talking about sounds like a fucking frog.
Yeah. But something stopped him saying it.
I just came back from America, and they love Halloween.
They're
out
obsessed over there.
I mean, it's a proper thing out there. Here, it's sort of half-hearted. A few middle-class families, sort of.
But do you think it'll
dress
get
up.
more popular here, though, if we do find out that ghosts are about?
Well, that'll never happen because they're not.
No,
okay?
but if they did, then
But-
suddenly that would be a big.
Well,
it'd be a big day.
America makes things famous now because of film culture and everything. So, yeah, it's all from that. I doubt we celebrated much at all, did we, 50 years ago? So I think it's crept up.
Certainly over here we didn't, but it's
No.
been largely introduced over here through commercial ideas, isn't it? We can sell stuff for Halloween.
and film and things like that. And but out there, they start like weeks and weeks before, and they're decorated like proper. And but I saw a little bakery in Soho, and it didn't look right with cobwebs all over it and spiders on the buns.
Yeah.
But even though it's fake, it's just I don't think you should do it on a bakery. Do you know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
know what you mean, it's a
just
bit
think
creepy.
that surely puts you off the product a little bit.
I
don't
always
know.
find it a bit depressing. Like last time we were going into supermarkets, and you see sort of these old women who in their 60s, and they're doing this job they don't really want to be doing, but they've been made to dress up
As a hat, I know.
as a witch or as Cinderella, and it just
Well, they could do
It's
it in
just-
like a morgue or something, just to sort of.
Brighten up the place.
Well, just so people aren't that scared.
Imagine that. Imagine you're going to identify your dead relative, and they go, "What's the spiders all over?" It's 31st October.
No,
Oh,
but-
okay.
But just make it a bit spookier and have a bit of fun with it, and let's not get serious about, like I say, passing on.
Yeah, but
But
those
you
sort of
have
people
to
have to
do it.
take their job seriously. I remember when my mum died, and I had to go along, and I was talking about what wreath they wanted, and that this person, quite rightly, had to turn off their sense of humour in a way, because I suppose they mustn't offend anyone, so I had to. We spoke like that at all times.
yeah.
At all times. Okay, and what would you like the wreath to say? She was a mother and a grandmother. I went, yeah, mother, grandmother, and what was her name? I said, her name was Eva. I said, and I made a joke. I said, do we get a discount because her name's short? And she went, well, actually, didn't laugh, didn't get that at all. She just went, just answer the question. She went, well, actually, you pay by the letter. I thought, okay, that fell flat. I'll go again. I went, well, a friend used to call her E.
Yeah.
I went, I'm joking. She went, okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
Bad audience. Bad time, bad audience. Tough crowd.
Yeah. Undertakers never known for their
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
their
They
laughter.
don't crack jokes, Carl. A friend of mine was trained to be a doctor, and in his first year, when they practiced, they intern at the hospital, he was watching this patient, and two other doctors came in, and I won't say his name. They said, can you go and check on Mr. So-and-so? He went, yeah, and change his drip. So he went in, changed his drip, came back out. The doctors came, after about 10 minutes, they came running and said, what did you do? What did you do? And they went in there and said, I just changed the drip. He goes, well, he's dead. He's dead. He was going, I just changed the drip. I did this and that. And I started laughing. He goes, no, he was dead when we sent you in there.
Yeah. Now, that is almost excusable because it's imperative if you're a doctor
Absolutely.
to become accustomed to
Yeah.
the fact that people die and that it's,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah. So they were making a joke about a dead body that means nothing to them other than professionally.
Yeah.
You know, they were getting through it. He thought he'd just murdered someone.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he thought he just killed someone. But yeah, they have to be desensitised. But they wouldn't do that in front of the relatives. They wouldn't go. I had a laugh earlier with a young intern. When your dad died, we sent him in to change the drip. Didn't even check. It was quite good. Anyway, let's get him out of here.
No, but they do have a laugh. I heard about a doctor who was working on a brain, right? And apparently, when they work on the brain, it's best just to keep you awake. because just so you can go, that hurts a bit, and they go, oh, best not touch that bit again.
That's
Right.
the reason. Rick.
Amazing.
That's the reason.
No, there is
It's amazing.
there's certain operations, isn't there, where they go, we can knock you out for that, but for this one we want to know.
It's probably because the
Either
brain needs to be
Activity.
active in order to.
Yeah, they
to
show
identify the thing,
activity,
but
yeah,
sure,
that's-
yeah. No,
so
it's
anyway-
actually so you can wake up and go, yeah, no, that hurt. That stings. Hell, that stings. Don't pop that in there.
You can't feel anything in the brain anyway. No nerve endings.
Really?
You
What?
can't feel it, can you?
Or maybe there's another reason. But anyway, his head's open. He's sat on this chair. The doctor's going.
I reckon he was laying down.
I thought he was laying down, but in your world, he's not. He's sat on a hard-backed.
I think it's more
dining
like
chair.
in front of a mirror, like a hairdresser type thing, right? And he's cut the skin off.
So get a bit shorter there.
So he's
So for the weekend, sir?
he's-
I won't be shagging with no brain.
anyway. So he's cut the skin off, and chopped a bit. And you're always going to get bits, aren't you? Sort of. Whenever you cut anything, you end up with a bit missing. But anyway, somehow he does the brain stuff. He fixes it. I don't know what he was doing, but
Don't you?
he
You don't
fixed
know
it.
about. You don't know
You
about
don't know
that.
the intricacies of brain surgery? That I find perplexing.
So you're not a neurosurgeon. I don't want. Oh, okay.
So
go
they
on.
sorted out the problem, right? And he goes, right, all we've got to do now is stick the head bit back on.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, by the way. The
Oh,
head
this
bit.
happened. This happened.
Yeah, the head bit's connected to the face bit.
So he sticks.
Nurse, head bit. Doctor, do you need leg bit? Not yet, nurse. Head bit, then leg bit.
So they stuck the head bit back on, and then
Can you pass me the sharpie thing?
he was trying to sew it, and he was going, "This isn't fitting this." He's going, "I don't know." And you know, like, because the
Right, if
patient's-
this turns out that it's
Someone else's head.
or
No.
a toupee from the doctor next to him,
Yeah.
or a cat. Wow!
No, it's-
You've sewn a cat to my brain.
it's none of that. He's trying to sew it, and he's thinking, "Why isn't it fitting?" And he's thinking, "Is it because the head's swollen?" Because he's been messing about in it, and things
Yeah.
swell, don't they? And messed about
Yeah.
with. So he's messing with it. He's going, I don't understand this, and he's panicking a bit because the patient's awake and chatting and stuff, and it's difficult to have a normal chat when you're panicking a
I
little
know,
bit.
there's a queue as well. People want their brain done. They're reading old copies of magazines. They're going, hurry up.
So
Do you want to wash it? No. Just I'll wash it later. Just take it off, do the brain, put it back on.
anyway, what happens is he has to start rummaging,
To start rummaging.
sort of rummaging.
Rummaging. No! There's no N before the first G. Rummaging.
Well, he starts looking through starts having a look through the bin. Because,
what?
Because he knows he's chucked a bit away of the skin.
Right, where is this surgery where a bloke's sitting up in front of a mirror and there's a bin? Is there a little basketball ring above the bin as well, so when he throws things it goes through there first?
I'm just saying that's what happened, and you were saying about things that happen, and you've got a joke about
So
it.
he's rummaging, and what happens?
He said to him, the fellow was starting to sense the nervousness, and he said, "What's going on here?" And he says, "Oh, I'm never going to believe it. I've lost a bit of your skin.
Lost a bit
and,
of your head, yeah.
I can't
Why did he
sew."
cut? I don't understand. Why is there? Why
That's
is it in
what I
two
mean.
bits?
Because things just break up, don't they? It's like chicken. When you see him walking around, everything's in place and it sticks together. You cook it, suddenly it all breaks up.
He cooked his face before he cut it out.
I'm just saying how flesh, it sticks together well
Yeah, but
when...
he'd cooked the scalp before he'd taken it off his
No,
head.
but
had
it's
he?
just an example of how
Oh,
skin
okay.
can break up with the muscles and everything.
So he's rummaging in the bin, and does he find the head?
He found the bit, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry about that," and he sort of managed to stick it on.
Right, he didn't
Stuff.
wash it off or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd give it a bit of a rinse. But I'm just saying how,
Nonsense.
you've got to make a joke out of stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, it's bollocks.
If you're a doctor.
Okay, that's good.
So where was the joke in that story? At what point I thought this was a story about how doctors have a sense of humour.
Yeah,
When
well, he
did
did
make
at
a
the
joke?
end. He sort of laughed and he sort of said, "Oh, there you go, it's back on." But good job, the bin men didn't come or whatever, and they made a joke out of it.
I've never heard such nonsense. I've never
Carl just
heard
made that
such
joke up.
nonsense. Right, Carl, let's do a competition. Chance to win some of the product that we've got out that Carl doesn't want to talk about because he's too lazy.
No, it's not that. If it's,
Well, if you do want to win a copy of this book, Ricky Gervais presents The World of Carl Pilkington. It's by all three of us, and it's some of the musings and thoughts and ideas from the podcast. Carl has got some new theories. It's illustrated throughout.
By Carl Pilkington.
By Carl Pilkington. It's got excerpts from the diary. They're genuine, aren't they? They're photostated things from the diary that people haven't seen, and it's fascinating read.
We can sign that. We can also give you a copy of this new 3-disc set CD of the best of... Is it the first series of the Ricky Gervais Show?
Yeah, well, it's got everything actually. It's got the whole 12 first series that we did with Guardian Unlimited, the award-winning, record-breaking, podcast. It's also got some excerpts. If you want the best of, you can put that on. And it's got 1 hour of new material, which we recorded especially for it. But you can't get that. You can't buy that in the shops till the 13th of November. And I'll throw in the new Flanimals book, Flanimals of the Deep. It's the third in the trilogy, Carl. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
And the question is, do you want them?
Okay, that's the quiz question.
That's the quiz question, yeah.
Okay.
If
Is that
you
a
thi-
trick question?
No. Just the first correct answer. I'm
Ah.
not going to know what the correct answer is, but do you want them? And think what if you do want them, then that might what's the answer? And you can send that to.
Podcast@rickygervais.com. Include your name and address, and if you're the lucky winner, then we will send this stuff to you if you want it.
And it's the first come, first serve. Okay, so the first correct answer to the question. Do you want it? Do you want that stuff? Do you want Flanimals and the CD box set and the book and that?
Okay, well, if you know the correct answer to that, podcast@rickygervais.com. Good luck, everyone.
Well, thank you for listening to the first of these 3 special podcasts with Guardian Unlimited. The next one is out for Thanksgiving, 23rd of November.
We don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving?
It's a thing in America.
Right.
It's like the big holiday. Probably rivals Christmas. Probably bigger than Christmas.
Well, what do we do here?
But we don't celebrate here, do we?
So it's a date, isn't it?
Yeah, but no one's going to remember that, are they?
23rd of November. They can remember, can't they?
Yeah, but it's nice.
Well, they
if
should
it's-
remember that's one day before my birthday if we're going to celebrate anything.
Okay. Well, you've got this one. The next one's the 23rd of November, and the next one's the 25th of December. Well, how can I remember 25th of December?
Well, that's fair
Christmas.
enough, that's Christmas, but Thanksgiving, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Okay, the next one's out about the 23rd of November. Then
Yeah,
after that, about the
day before my birthday.
Oh, they're going to remember that, aren't they? It's Steve Day in Bristol. Yeah. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this special edition of the Ricky Gervais Show, the entire back catalogue is still available on iTunes under audiobooks. By the way, not podcasts, audiobooks, and you can get everything we've ever done. I'd like to thank the guys at Positive Internet for hosting this. Those great guys. What would we do without them? So, it's goodbye from me. Goodbye from Steve Merchant.
Bye.
And goodbye from Carl Pilkington.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited. The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Welcome to the second in this series of 3 special free podcasts with The Guardian Unlimited, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Hello.
and Carl Pilkington.
Alright.
These are a special thank you to all the fans that bought the last few podcasts we've done. Still available on iTunes. You can't miss it, it's at number 1 in the charts. Carl, it's Thanksgiving.
I don't know what that means. I don't know how we're doing this.
I'm slightly in agreement with you, actually. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Well, no, but it was, arbitrary dates are easy to remember for some people. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Easy to remember.
I don't think Thanksgiving is.
Well, it is in America, and
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you. I mean, I've been around for 30 odd years. I've never celebrated one of them. I've never done anything about it. No one has. I don't know any relation who has ever said, "Are you popping around for Thanksgiving?" I don't know, when is it? I've never done it.
because it's not celebrated in this
So
country.
why are we celebrating it?
We're not celebrating it. It's an arbitrary date to do a podcast.
I just don't know what it's about. I mean, before you celebrate something.
You don't celebrate Halloween, do you? But we did that.
No, but it annoys me how people don't actually know what the occasion is. They celebrate it. Kids don't know what Christmas is about these days. It's just like, oh, I'll get some toys. That's
Yeah,
what I mean. So Thanksgiving, it's just another one, isn't it? It's another event.
Okay, why do you celebrate Christmas then?
Because everyone else does. You can't get
Brilliant.
away from it. I'd quite happily block it out. If I did a new diary, I'd leave out that date and go, come on, let's get on, let's do something good.
Well, you go on holiday every 2 weeks. What's that to celebrate?
No, I'm just
But
saying.
people need a little break, don't they? It's a great.
He doesn't.
Christmas is a great time. Even
Yeah,
if you
but
take
the
away
problem
religious
is, what I
aspect.
don't like about it is everyone's off at the same time, so everything stops. See, what I'd do is, I'd say to people, do you like Christmas? Yeah. Right, when do you want to celebrate this year? And let them do it whenever they want.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Why? As long as you're remembering baby Jesus Does it matter when you're remembering him?
But I'm an atheist, and I celebrate Christmas because it's a time of year where everyone is off and everyone gets together.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care what they call it.
The fact that we're all doing it at the same time is what's nice about
No,
it. There's a
it's
sense
not.
of community,
No.
national community.
Everyone shuts down by about December 15th or whatever, and then it doesn't get going again till like January the 6th.
But what is it you're missing out on during this period?
Just it's like 2 weeks there. I mean, that bit between Christmas and New Year, you might as well delete that out of the calendar.
Yeah, because heaven
nothing
forbid you
happens.
can't pop down the library because it's closed. all that reading you've got to catch up on.
I'm just saying that we're wasting time.
What
are you doing there?
I've never seen anyone on this planet waste as much time as you.
I was gonna
If you're
say-
not on holiday, you're following an insect around the fucking park. So don't give me that shit.
I'm just saying that I don't like fun.
Never a true
Well, there we are. We've got to the nub of it here. You don't like fun. This is true. You don't like anything.
almighty, you do not like fun.
No, organised fun. I hate that thing. I've said it a bit before about, you know, it's that date, that's what you've got to do. Will there come a time when someone goes, we've done enough of this? Will there come a time, and Thanksgiving?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly, yeah. Things change, don't they?
And you'll be happy then, will you?
In 5,000 years' time, when we all worship Glong.
Yeah, we just make a change. That's all I want. Because you know I've been keeping a diary.
Yeah.
Uh,
What did you have in the calf yesterday, for example? We can read about that later.
it's just like Ricky said. Oh, are you gonna do another one next year? And I wouldn't, because it's you do the same stuff every year, don't you? It's set up the same way. January, February. It's the same thing. It's the same routine.
Yeah.
And if you're writing,
Why
in
are
a
they
book,
always doing them in the same order? Those months.
It sickens me, Rick. I
Oh.
tell you.
you see, it's just easy to put stuff off whilst we've got this calendar. Whereas if you didn't have a date, you'd have to do everything straight away.
What?
Say if I was in charge
Oh God, heaven forbid.
and
Yeah.
someone said that building needs knocking down.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. If we didn't have a calendar, you go, let's do it now then. Whereas because we've got a calendar, it's easy to say next Wednesday.
I love him! His theories are amazing! I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is a real visionary thinker. Maybe he is free. You know what I like about him though? All his thoughts, they're about freedom of expression in a strange way. He's not burdened by anything. He just goes, well, why do we think like that?
But
He
who-
questions everything like a true visionary scientist.
But who gets a diary come Christmas time, which I know you hate,
Yeah.
for the next year, and thinks raw, what a piece of
Oh,
shit.
now I've got to
I'm
put
just gonna
something
do
for
stuff when I want to do it.
I'm going to take out next Wednesday. There's no such thing
No.
as next
No, but
Wednesday.
what I'm saying is, before the year's even started, I know in that new diary I can whiz forward to December 25th and I go, another Christmas.
I don't know what you mean.
So everything's set in stone before I've even started the new year. It's like, Pancake Tuesday, that's coming up. So someone's already
Remembrance
decided.
Tuesday.
Someone's already decided.
Someone's already telling me what I'm doing on half of the year.
Oh.
And it
But
just be
all those
nice.
pages are
fucking
blank,
hell.
Carl, for you to fill up with stuff.
Oh, guess what? Guess when my birthday is again? 23rd of September.
I'm just saying, move them about a bit, move the days about a bit so it doesn't get predictable.
But when we change Pancake Tuesday to Thursday,
Thursday.
do we tell anyone else?
Yeah, they do an advert on the telly, just saying don't forget to buy your pancake mix.
But
this
so
week it's
why?
Thursday.
Carl, why not just stick with what we've already got? Because if you know it's
Actually,
like
with that,
everyone
I wouldn't,
anyway.
that's a bit, I wouldn't put a date on that pancake day anyway. Just have them when you want. Have it when you want. There's no big deal. You've got to make them yourself. It's not like some place is opening to do it. Have them when you want. I don't know why that's got a special day on it. Sick of it.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is based on new settlers to a new land surviving.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Carl in the week. We were talking about new settlers and everything, and I was thinking, imagine if you had to start a new settlement now, okay? There was something wrong with the world, okay? The world was kaput, okay? And we found another planet. So, Carl, if you had to go to a new planet, don't worry about starting life again. They've got sort of like these breeder clones that do all that, but you can choose 6 people from this world to take to start this whole new world, okay? So you need, as I say, you don't need to
So
worry
what's
about-
happening here? Is this?
It's going to be wiped out, okay? It's going to be wiped out, but there's enough on this spaceship for you and 5 other people. Okay, and they've got them there. They've got these sort of breeder clones there, but you want to take 6, I suppose, sort of world lords to teach, to lay down the politics, the teachings, the laws